Halo, halo, raz, raz, test. Dzień dobry, dzień dobry. Halo, halo, raz, raz, test. Okej, dobra. Siema w ogóle, Gołąb. Siema, Kamil. No, stream się zacznie dopiero, tak jak licznik macie, za godzinę 20, ale już mówię, poustawiam sobie, żeby mieć pewność, że wszystko jest sprawne. Także Xbox już może być obsrany. Teraz zobaczymy, czy inne obrazy też działają. Dobra, tutaj też chyba będzie wszystko ok. Na razie nie mogę zrobić na pełny ekran streamu z PlayStation Showcase, bo na razie jest tylko przypomnienie. Mogę ewentualnie zrobić restream z IGN-u, mm, ale nie chcę. Dobra, chyba będzie wszystko ok. Wszystkie. O! A tutaj ta kamerka to po co? Uuu. Dobra, tą kamerkę tutaj usunę. Ona mi jest tu kompletnie niepotrzebna. O, to ma być tak. Okej, więc chyba jest wszystko ok. To ja to tak zostawię. Także widzimy się za niecałe półtorej godziny. Ja na razie się wyłączam. Znaczy stream już zostanie, ale po prostu nie będziecie mnie słyszeć. Także jeszcze się trochę przygotuję i upiję. Muszę szampana odpalić. Dobra, to do zobaczenia za niecałe półtorej godziny. Trzymajcie się.
Twoja twarz brzmi znajomo. Nowa edycja od 10 września w piątki o 20 w Polsacie.
What are raiders doing in these ruins? I hope Aaron is okay.
Halo, halo, test, test. Ale gra chyba jest za głośno. O, może teraz będzie lepiej. Halo, halo, raz, raz. Jest ok? Muszę Paulina założyć słuchawki, bo ja wtedy sobie robię echo sam. Halo, halo, raz, raz. Co? No, ale powinnaś mieć. I słuchawki jeszcze włożone. Bo nie mam odsłuchu inaczej.
I need to get clear. That was close. I can't shake him. Up we go. Maybe I can lose him in here. These guys won't give up. His way out is down. Machines. Better go under.
Halo, halo, raz, raz, test. Jak mnie słychać? Dzień dobry. Co, lepiej teraz, Paulina? A jednak grę. Jednak grę ściszyć. Może coś takiego, czy jeszcze? No okej. Myślę, że osoby z fetyszem do chomików są zadowolone. Całkiem możliwe. Okej.
I have friends, okay? I'm not just the ones you slaughtered. But when they come looking for me, there's gonna be trouble. You guys wouldn't be laughing if I had my hammer. Get up! Get moving!
made short work of it.
Filthy Oseram.
I'm gonna take you out. You think you can hurt me?
Yeah, I do. All right, back to the hunt. Raiders said they were heading for the old bridge. Maybe I can cut them off. Better get to higher ground, find a way. There's the bridge. I think I know a way to get there fast. I gotta be careful. see me?
You bet. I owe you another one.
Come on.
But this time, I have a present for you. I found it, Aloy. Huh? What'd you send me for? Right before the Raiders got me.
You did good. Now, let's see where this thing will take us.
You always said a storm was coming.
Yeah. And it's almost here.
So there you have it, the first gameplay footage from Horizon Forbidden West running on PlayStation 5. We hope you are as excited about it as we are. While we have you here, we would like to spotlight some of the new elements you have just seen in our gameplay capture. And to help with that, please welcome Ben McCaw, Narrative Director on Horizon Forbidden West.
Thanks, Matthijs, and hello to all our viewers. Horizon Forbidden West is set 1,000 years in Earth's future after a global catastrophe. People live on in primitive tribes, but they're no longer the dominant species. Giant, animal-like machines now roam the land, and they are extremely dangerous. The machines aren't the only threat in the Forbidden West. A strange red blight is spreading across the land, and it won't be long before it strangles all life. Aloy, our hero, is the only one who can stop the blight. But to do that, she and her companions will have to comb through the ruins of the old world to find the technology they need. In this quest, Aloy has sent her loyal friend Erend into the remains of San Francisco to find a crucial piece of technology. Erend encounters raiders from a rebel faction of the Tenakth tribe. They are vicious fighters, but even worse, they've acquired the power to override machines. To rescue Erend, Aloy winds up fighting them, but first, she must cross the ruins to reach their camp.
We face a lot of obstacles as we traverse the ruins of San Francisco. To overcome them, we've given Aloy some great new tools. Using the focus scanner, you can highlight spots that allow free climbing anywhere in the open world. The pull caster speeds up climbing and can get you quickly out of trouble. The shield wing allows you to safely descend from great heights or surprise enemies from above. With the diving mask, you can stay submerged as long as you like and take your time to plan a path around amphibious machines or boost through strong underwater currents. And to speed up overland travel, a variety of machines can be overridden and used as mounts or in combat. Combat in Horizon Forbidden West puts a strong emphasis on tactics and player choice. For close-range combat, the spear is an excellent option. There's a range of combos that have different uses and effects. Valor Surges add a unique set of special abilities, one of which can be used to knock back nearby enemies. The spear can be charged to create a high damage effect that can take down even the stronger enemies. A wide array of different weapons is quickly accessible via the weapon wheel. A slingshot with adhesive grenades to temporarily stall machines. Bows with arrows that can strip armor and expose weak spots. A powerful launcher that fires spikes that explode on impact. Smoke bombs that temporarily blind enemies. Or you can pick up weapons shot off from machines. The full game has many more unique weapons, and each of them can be upgraded on a workbench, but more on that another time. The player will need to be smart and creative and use all of the combat options we have shown to deal with a large variety of deadly machines. Sunwings in the sky, claw striders and tremor tusks on land, snapmaws in the water, even the seemingly harmless burrowers that you saw briefly swim by. They are all dangerous, and even more so when overridden by human rebels.
We've only scratched the surface of the rebel threat, as Aloy will fight them in many forms throughout the game. And to defeat them, she must explore the open world to uncover the secret behind their power, and how that secret is related to her quest to stop the Blight. And this is just one of the mysteries she will unravel as her journey through the Forbidden West takes many twists and turns.
It's time to wrap it up. We will have more updates closer to launch, and everyone here at Guerrilla can't wait for you to experience the full game. Thank you for watching.
PlayStation.
The time draws near. You must prepare yourself.
In 2018, the God of War reboot did what some considered unlikely: turn a murderous rageaholic warrior into a sympathetic father figure and revitalize a series that felt as if it had run its creative course. With the sequel, presumably called God of War Ragnarok, on the horizon, let's catch up with old Kratos, his son Atreus, and where we last left the Nordic realm. Years after the events of the original trilogy, God of War 2018 opens on Kratos, now in the Norse realm of Midgard. Kratos and his young son Atreus prepare a funeral pyre for Faye, Kratos' second wife and Atreus' mother. After a moment of silence, Kratos takes Atreus out on his first hunt. It doesn't go well. Father and son return home, finding Faye's body has been fully cremated. Kratos barely has enough time to give Atreus a lesson about anger management before a stranger, who looks like the bassist from every folk metal band, comes a-knockin'. Despite Kratos' reluctance to fight, they square off in a tree-chopping, stone-throwing, mountain-crushing duel to end all duels. Eventually, the stranger reveals that he can't even feel any of the pain Kratos has been dishing out.
I can't feel any of this.
At least until Kratos snaps his neck and seemingly kills him for good. We'll later learn this rune-tattooed guy is Baldur, one of Odin's sons and half-brother of Thor.
So, care to try again?
Kratos returns home and resolves to finish Faye's last wish, to scatter her ashes from the peak of the highest mountain. He and Atreus set out across Midgard and eventually meet the blue-skinned dwarf blacksmith Brock, who reveals that he and his estranged brother Sindri crafted Kratos' axe Leviathan, which originally belonged to Faye. Not long after, Atreus demonstrates his questionable archery skills again and shoots a boar, which turns out is a friend of the Witch of the Woods.
The boy was following my command.
Then help fix this.
Kratos and Atreus head back to the witch's house, and while Atreus is busy, she reveals that she knows that Kratos is half god, and implores him to tell Atreus about his heritage before the Norse gods get the drop on them.
That is none of your concern.
The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me.
Kratos is predictably reluctant. Kratos and Atreus head out to the Lake of Nine, a massive body of water housing centuries of ancient Norse history, where they are welcomed by the World Serpent, an appropriately monstrous snake who's also the last remaining Jotun giant. Turns out old World Serpent is actually pretty friendly, at least to folks with a penchant for killing Norse gods. Kratos and Atreus continue their journey towards the mountain, meet Brock's brother Sindri, and find the mountain pass has been blocked by a deadly black mist which can only be cleared by the light of Alfheim, home of the elves. The witch helps them gain access to the Bifrost, the magical bridge linking all of Midgard's various realms, housed in Tyr's temple, and gets them access to Alfheim. But she's suddenly yanked back to Midgard, leaving Kratos and Atreus to figure their way out. Father and son soon find that they've entered into a war between light elves and dark elves, with the dark elves closing in on victory. Once Kratos and Atreus make it to the supposed light of Alfheim, Kratos enters the light and is transported to a dreamlike version of Midgard, all while Atreus' voice can be heard wishing Kratos was a better father.
I'm strong. I'm smart. I'm not what he thinks I am. I know better.
Kratos is about to see his wife's spirit, but is suddenly yanked out of the light by Atreus. Kratos is understandably a bit angry, but quickly realizes that the few moments he spent in the light translated to hours, maybe days, in the real world. Kratos sees the piles and piles of elves Atreus has had to defend against in his absence, and Atreus furiously accuses Kratos of abandoning him.
I didn't know what to do! You left me here! Again!
The pair head back to the mountain and clear out the black mist with the light of Alfheim, only to run into a lightning dragon halfway up. Kratos and Atreus manage to escape its clutches momentarily, but then find the same dragon attempting to snack on Sindri. Kratos kills the dragon by spearing it on a crane and shoving a chunk of explosive world tree sap into its throat, blowing a hole through its jaw. As thanks for saving him, Sindri offers Atreus some arrows made of mistletoe, and Kratos later uses a piece to fix Atreus' chest strap. Kratos and Atreus make it to the top of the mountain, but overhear a conversation between a very much still alive Baldur and Thor's sons Modi and Magni.
You have nothing to offer me, so take your questions, take your threats, take these two worthless wankers, and piss off!
Kratos hears them interrogating Mimir, Odin's former advisor and the Norse god of knowledge and wisdom, who's been imprisoned inside a tree by Odin for 109 years. It's a long story. Kratos and Atreus speak with Mimir once the coast is clear, but unfortunately learn that their princess is in another the tallest mountain in the realms isn't where they're standing. It's in Jotunheim, realm of the giants.
See that mountain? Looks like a giant's finger scraping the sky. That's the highest peak in all the realms.
And access has been blocked off by the giants to keep out Odin and his crew. Mimir's suggestion? Cut off his head, get the witch to reanimate him, and they'll take another passage at Mimir's direction. Mimir also takes a chance to whisper to Kratos that he really ought to tell his son how he's half god and all.
So you value your privacy more than your son?
When Mimir awakens, he lets it spill that the witch is in fact Freya, a Norse goddess, much to the concern of Kratos. Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir continue exploring for stuff they'll need to get to Jotunheim, but are ambushed by Thor's sons Modi and Magni. Kratos manages to kill Magni, and a furious Atreus injures Modi before coughing up blood. Atreus' mysterious sickness, mentioned just before their journey, begins to manifest. Atreus musters enough strength to start heading back to Freya with Kratos, but the pair get ambushed by Modi again. Taunted by Modi, Atreus' anger rises and he launches into a miniature Spartan rage, just like his dad, but collapses on the floor. Kratos gains the upper hand and Modi flees again. Great job, bud. Kratos takes Atreus to Freya again, who says she needs the heart of a troll guarding the Bridge of the Damned in Helheim. You know, Hell, to cure him. The catch? Kratos' Leviathan axe is useless in Helheim. Thankfully, Kratos has the perfect backup. Kratos starts rowing back to his house as a storm begins raging. Along the way, what looks like the ghost of Athena appears in front of him. Kratos enters his house and opens up the mysterious floorboards to reveal the Blades of Chaos, the chain swords that once belonged to Ares and featured prominently throughout the original trilogy. Athena appears behind Kratos and tells him that he'll never be able to leave his monstrous side behind, no matter where he goes. Kratos has the perfect retort.
I know. But I am your monster no longer.
With a new weapon, Kratos fights through Helheim, killing the troll guarding the bridge of the damned and taking its heart. Before he can dip out, the mist of Helheim materializes into a vision of Zeus, Kratos' dear old, very dead dad.
My father. Your father was Zeus? Well, that explains a lot.
Mimir lets him know the vision isn't real, but pieces together Kratos' true origin as the Spartan god of war. Back at Freya's, the witch starts healing Atreus and tells Kratos that to truly heal, Atreus needs to know he's part god.
I can break the fever, but to heal...
He must know the truth of what he is.
Yes.
On their way out, Kratos tells Atreus the truth about his origin, at least partially, that he was born a god, but chose to live as a man in Midgard. That means Atreus, seemingly cured of his sickness for good, is a god as well, which just makes him wonder if he can fly or turn invisible. Kratos tries to give some life lessons while searching through Tyr's temple, but unfortunately the whole god thing turns Atreus into quite the cocky little jerk.
All you ever talk about, over and over. Do something about it or shut up already.
And he mercilessly kills a wounded Modi against Kratos' wishes. The crew manages to open the portal to Jotunheim, but are ambushed by Baldur.
Miss me.
And the portal is accidentally destroyed. Kratos tries to stop a clearly outmatched Atreus from fighting Baldur, but Atreus shoots his father with an electric arrow. That diversion gives Baldur the chance to kidnap Atreus and leap onto a giant dragon. Kratos gives chase, fist-fighting Baldur on the dragon's back. Kratos manages to slash the dragon's wing, plummeting everyone to Tyr's temple and the Bifrost portal, which sucks Kratos, Atreus, and Baldur into Helheim. Kratos and Atreus fight their way out of Hell, and through a spirit vision, it's revealed that Baldur is Freya's son, and her attempt to save him from death cursed him with the inability to feel, taste, or enjoy just about anything. Families, am I right? Along the way, another spirit vision of Zeus, this time being murdered by a younger Kratos, appears, spilling the beans on Kratos' past. The group finally leaves Hell and stumble upon a clue revealing Tyr has hidden another passage to Jotunheim, but they'll need Mimir's other eye, which just so happens to be inside the World Serpent's belly. The crew briefly visits Brock and Sindri, who've now patched up their differences, and Atreus lets out his softer side, clearly understanding how much of a brat he was being earlier.
No, quit your grinning. It's downright unsettling.
It's just nice to see you together.
The crew rows into the serpent's gullet and finds Mimir's other eyeball, which returns his godly power of sight. Just as they're leaving, Baldur attacks the serpent and it spits them out at the foot of a dead giant named Thamur. Freya arrives asking what happened, saying she's looking for her son, but Cue boss fight. Freya tries to intervene with magic, and as Kratos is On the path, Kratos and Atreus discover remnants of the Jotun giants, finding a prophecy showing Atreus' mother was a member of the giants, and foretelling all of the steps of their journey.
That's us. The first time we met the world serpent. The first time we met the... But how?
It's also revealed that Baldur's actual target was Atreus' mother, not knowing she'd been turned to ash moments prior. Kratos' final discovery... As they walk away, Atreus asks Kratos why the murals in the giant's temple referred to him as Loki. Kratos says it was the name his mother wanted for him, and she may have called him that to the other giants. Of course, we know Loki as the infamous and dastardly trickster god, an iconic figure in Norse mythology. It doesn't line up perfectly with what we know about Loki, but myth is often reshaped in retellings, so it's unclear for now how much Atreus will actually become the trickster god we know, or if he'll forge his own path.
A question for another day. Let us go home.
But that's not all. In a post-credits dream sequence, Kratos and Atreus are resting at home when they're approached by a shadowy figure shrouded in lightning, storm clouds, and wielding a hammer, who we can reasonably assume is Thor. With the sequel on the horizon, it's safe to say that Kratos and Atreus will be squaring off against more Norse gods and diving deeper into the world of Midgard. Now you're caught up on God of War and ready for Ragnarok, whatever shape it may come in.
Right after I finish killing your father! Whoops! I think I broke him.
During the Gamescom 2021 Opening Night Live presentation, Guerrilla Games announced that they were shadow dropping a patch for Horizon Zero Dawn that raises the performance on PlayStation 5 consoles to 4K at 60 frames per second. So we wanted to share some quick gameplay of how the game looks in motion after the patch. We hope you enjoy, and for everything else Horizon, you're already in the right place. IGN.
Not gonna be a problem overriding that lance horn. Catching it, though. Just stay out of their way for now.
In 2017, Guerrilla Games introduced us to the world of Horizon Zero Dawn, an outcast warrior named Aloy, and a world full of robot creatures big, small, and extra big. It was a hell of a journey, with Aloy seemingly saving the world from a second robot apocalypse. The sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, brings Aloy further, you guessed it, west, all the way to the sandy shores of San Francisco, where she'll encounter new creatures, new factions, and one big new threat to the world. PlayStation fans are eager to see what new tricks Aloy and her robot prey have up their sleeves, so here's everything we know about Horizon Forbidden West. First things first, when is Horizon Forbidden West coming out? There were plenty of rumors stating that Horizon Forbidden West would miss its holiday 2021 window, and they were confirmed at this year's Gamescom. Forbidden West will officially hit PlayStation 4 and PS5 on February 18th, 2022. Horizon Forbidden West starts 6 months after the conclusion of the first game, where Aloy has seemingly defeated the rogue AI Hades from enacting a second extinction event. With the threat dealt with, Aloy discovers a mysterious plague called the Red Blight that's spreading across the land, infecting living animals and causing massive storms. Forbidden West is confirmed to include locations in California, Utah, and Nevada, and Guerrilla says the game's map is a little bigger, but also more dense. In preview footage, we can see Aloy visiting iconic San Francisco landmarks like the ferry building on Embarcadero, the domed Palace of Fine Arts, and even the Transamerica Pyramid, all of which are at least partially submerged in ocean waters. At some point, Aloy visits what appears to be a desert casino, possibly in Las Vegas or San Francisco's Chinatown. Aloy can be seen scaling a cliff in what seems like California's Yosemite Valley, with a mountain in the background resembling Half Dome. Other spotted locations include what may be the Sierra Nevada mountains, where Aloy travels past a dead Chariot-class metal devil that eradicated humanity 1,000 years ago, a partially demolished Golden Gate Bridge sporting another dead war machine beneath it, and El Capitan in Yosemite. At some point, Aloy sends Erend, her mustache friend from the Oseram tribe, out west to help track down a mysterious device that points them towards answers about the plague. Erend is captured by a rebel faction of warriors from the Tenakth tribe, who are led by an unseen person named Regala. Aloy follows Erend's trail to San Francisco and discovers the rebel tribe has learned how to hack the robots and commandeer them, going so far as to ride some of them like mounts. We can also hear some of the rebels referring to their leader by the name Regala. Aloy battles the rebels' Tremor Tusk mount and frees Erend, and the pair use a piece of technology Erend has acquired to lead them to their next clue, all as a huge storm begins to swirl in the sky above. But don't forget about Silence. The X-Eclipse cult founder assisted Aloy in discovering the true origins of the world and its machines, but had ulterior motives. Though Aloy defeated Hades, a piece of the AI managed to escape and return to Silence, who captured it in a strange lantern. In Forbidden West's reveal trailer, we see Silence has joined the Tenakth rebels and is assisting them in hacking the machines. What good is a Horizon sequel without new robot creatures to discover? The big highlight thus far has been the Tremor Tusk, the armored elephant-like machine seen in both the reveal trailer and Guerrilla's gameplay demo. While some Tremor Tusks might be unarmored, the rebels have kitted up their ride Lord of the Rings style, so multiple archers can ride in a war tower on its back. The Tremor Tusk also has the ability to shoot purple laser beams, which would have also made the battle for Gondor much more interesting. Other new creatures include the Claw Strider, a feathery raptor-like robot that can be ridden by Aloy and enemies alike. There's also a giant tortoise-like Shell Snapper seen rising from a swamp, the pterodactyl-like Sunwings, the boar-like Bristleback, and the otter-like Burrower seen in the San Francisco waters. Returning creatures include the alligator-like Snapmaw. And how is Aloy going to deal with threats human and robotic? The warrior has several new tricks up her sleeve when it comes to combat and traversal. In addition to her older weapons, Aloy has a new sticky glue slingshot that can cover creatures and slow them down, a smoke bomb for quickly escaping a losing battle, her trusty armor-stripping bow, and a giant spike that sticks to an enemy and then explodes. Human-on-human combat wasn't the best in Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West has revamped it to allow for more varied combos. Aloy can also modify her spear with Valor Surges, upgrades that infuse her spear with special abilities, such as an electric shock that knocks her enemies away. She'll also need to use her bow to knock off bits of armor. Enemies have been upgraded a bit too, with one heavy brandishing a hammer powered by little rockets. If Aloy is quiet enough, she can also use tall grass and her spear to perform stealth kills on enemies. Thankfully, all of Aloy's weapons can be upgraded at a workbench. Creature combat is still a big highlight, and Aloy can use a variety of bow and slingshot ammo types to strip robots of their armor, explode gas canisters on their bellies, and even pick up weapons they drop and use one against them, like the Tremor Tusk's laser Gatling gun. She can also still hack and mount certain robots, as well as fire arrows from the saddle. Aloy will be exploring lots of old world ruins, so her traversal toolset has also been expanded. Zero Dawn was criticized for only allowing climbing on certain paths, but the game director says that Aloy will now be able to climb anywhere in the world using a system that detects latches and geometry. It's unclear if this will be as freeform as Breath of the Wild or modern Assassin's Creed games, but it's definitely a step up from the strictly linear climbing that we saw in Horizon Zero Dawn. When in a pinch, Aloy can also activate her focus to highlight climbing paths. Forbidden West director clarified that the highlight ability is merely for convenience, and that outside of settlements, Aloy will be able to climb anything. If Aloy is in a rush, her new Polecaster is a hookshot tool that will zip her from grappling point to grappling point, useful for climbing or evading in combat. She also now has a new glider called the Shield Wing that lets her quickly descend from high places. With large parts of the map underwater, Aloy has gained a diving mask that will let her breathe under the waves as long as she needs. She'll just need to be careful of the currents that can whisk her away. If a giant snap maw appears, she'll be able to stealth her way through the kelp, much like tall grass. Guerrilla describes underwater combat as a cat and mouse experience. Of course, Forbidden West is also a flagship game for PlayStation 5 while still appearing on the PlayStation 4. The PS5 version will receive graphical improvements, including better water effects and underwater rendering. The PS5 will also allow for better lighting effects. According to other reports, the PS5 version will support a 60 FPS performance mode, but we're not sure what enhancements that will sacrifice. Meanwhile, the DualSense controller will simulate the draw of a bowstring, and the game will make use of 3D audio capabilities. If you're planning on snagging Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4, Guerrilla has gone on record to say there's been a lot of development and playtesting on the system. We've only seen very small glimpses of Horizon Forbidden West, and Guerrilla Games will almost certainly have lots more to show as it gets closer to release. But what do you think about what we've seen so far? Make sure to let us know in the comments below, and for everything Horizon, make sure to stick with IGN.
First, they conquered humanity's greatest evil, and she lay in rest. Then they vanquished threats from beyond our stars, and she lay in rest.
If you'd be so kind. Omno sanctum legita. Omno sanctum
Now our nightmares have
draws near. You must prepare yourself.
PlayStation.
This is Yara, an island nation frozen in time and on the brink of revolution. In Far Cry 6, you will join a guerrilla uprising against Anton Castillo. After decades of strife and unrest, Castillo has unveiled a violent plan to drag Yara from the shadows and towards a future of his own design. You play as Danny Rojas. In Far Cry 6, both male and female versions of Danny are playable and share the same narrative experience. At the beginning of their story, we find Danny trying desperately to escape. But an encounter with Diego Castillo, the son of Anton Castillo, begins a chain of events that will thrust Danny into the war for Yara's future.
You're here. That's what matters.
Just a second, hermana. I'm getting the hell out of Yara.
But you're in my camp.
As Danny plunges deeper into the conflict, they will begin to question their own views on freedom, identity, family, and what it means to fight for an ideal.
Are you ready for your uniform, Rojas?
Yara is the richest Far Cry world yet. Rustic, wild, and unique in ways that only isolated cultures can be. Yara's islands are a playground of mayhem and rough-and-tumble exploration, and this world can be experienced alone or with a friend. Far Cry 6's robust co-op features include friend and public matchmaking with XP and inventory progression that carries seamlessly between solo and co-op experiences.
Free elections, free expression, free the outcasts. A Yara free of Castillos. Simple. You don't believe me? I'll show you.
Yara is broken into many regions of cultural and natural diversity, where Danny will encounter key groups of locals and become entwined in their own unique narratives. Danny must gain the trust of each of these groups to resist Castillo's tightening grip on Yara, and in the process, uncover a wealth of mission arcs and gameplay opportunities. Danny will meet the Monteros, a family of tobacco farmers with deep roots in the Yaran countryside. There's Maximas Matanzas and La Moral, two young groups bracing to survive Castillo's violence. And hidden in Yara's mountainous jungles, Danny will meet the Legends of 67, a band of ex-revolutionaries whose experience in guerrilla warfare will be essential in the turmoil to come.
Fight until they die!
These groups have different backgrounds, but all have been the victims of Anton Castillo's master plan. As he ramps up production of Vivido, a revolutionary cancer treatment that Castillo aims to wield as a bargaining chip on the global stage. Yara's regions all play a role in Vivido's production and bear the scars of Castillo's vision. Forced labor, rampant pollution, and military brutality have become a grave reality for its people.
We have to stop Castillo and that Yankee. You kids look like you could use a little luck.
Guerrilla camps are the heart of the rebellion, where outcasts, misfits, and ex-military take action against Castillo's army.
Welcome to Libertad, Danny. Let's free Yara, shall we?
These camps embody the scrappy resolver guerrilla philosophy, and this is where you'll plan, assemble resources, gear, and vehicles. You'll develop your camps based on your specific needs by constructing and upgrading barracks, weapons caches, garrisons, and many more. Success as a guerrilla is about adapting to all scenarios and finding ways to win against the odds. Far Cry 6 has a massive range of attachments, mods, and ammo types which are customized at workbenches throughout Yara and used to devastating effect.
For a guerrilla, resolver isn't just making do with what you have. It's inflicting chaos with everything you've got.
Keep talking.
And this anything-goes mindset extends to defense as you'll scavenge any and everything you can to armor yourself against your opponents. Yara is a vast and varied world, persistently woven with danger, mystery, unexpected challenges, and adventure to uncover. And that adventure goes even further in a series of thrilling special operations as Danny aims to cut off key arteries of Castillo's back-channel global network.
When the guerrillas arrested my family in 67, me, Papa, was dragged to this very cell. We used to talk every single night through this vent. I loved it. He's the same age I was when the guerrillas murdered my father.
A leader, blinded by his vision. A nation caught in the flames of rebirth. And a people fighting through it all to save their identity. Far Cry 6 presents a vivid and dramatic game experience caught in the crossfire of warring ideals, where everyone will go to unspeakable lengths for what they believe in.
The Far Cry series has changed a lot since it first launched in 2004. Not everything has been as drastic as, say, Far Cry 2's choice to abandon the genetically engineered man monsters of the first, but almost every game has done its part to tweak things in some way or another. Far Cry 6 will certainly feel familiar to longtime fans, but also take some big swings at shaking things up. Based on my experience with the first few hours in a recent remote demo, it mostly works really well, though I'm not entirely sold on some of its newer elements. The core pillars of Far Cry-dom, exotic locations, maniacal bad guys, and a hefty dose of madcap violence are all still there. Other more recent mainstays like treasure hunts and Fangs for Hire return as well, and while I can't deny that Chorizo the wheelchair-bound dachshund is as adorable as his distraction ability is useful, I think my favorite recruit so far is Guapa the alligator. He's handsome, he's hungry. Simple. Aside from the shift back to third-person cutscenes, which we haven't seen since the original Far Cry 17 years ago, the biggest change to the Far Cry formula is probably how character progression works. Since Far Cry 3, we've earned XP to unlock new perks and abilities in those RPG-style skill trees, but not anymore. Now, almost all of your character progression is tied to your weapons and gear, and while that's definitely a big departure from the norm we've come to expect, I think it works, for the most part. You do still technically level up, increasing your guerrilla rank as you complete missions, clear outposts and checkpoints, and generally do all the Far Cry-y stuff we know and love, but instead of earning skill points to unlock abilities, you'll gain access to new gear, particularly the new Resolver weapons and Supremos, the Xanier guns and gadget backpacks you might have seen in previous trailers, which can then be customized with mods that offer perks and buffs that mirror the skills we're used to. The simplest way to look at it now, I think, is like this. Instead of picking a ton of upgrades you'll always
Halo, halo? O, chyba dobrze mnie będzie słychać teraz. To możesz w sumie jeszcze sprawdzić na słuchawkach, nie? No to już? To już? Chrono D? Co to jest Chrono D? Coś mi się zegarek chyba zepsuł. Także... Okej. Także witam. Zaraz powinno się zacząć show. Także już jest 22. Za chwilę powinni... O... Co? Poniosorki? Bucem coś do ciebie pisze. A, pewnie, że nie odebrał telefonu. Dobra. Ja sobie odpalę na full screena u siebie. Dobra. No ciekawi mnie, co to będzie. Co tu się wydarzy. Ej, ale już jest po czasie. Już jest 22:01. Już powinno być. Posia, jeżeli będziesz chciał oglądać z dźwiękiem równo, to trzeba będzie oglądać tu, bo tam będę słyszał swój głos i nie mogę mieć podgłoszone tam, nie? Jeżeli będziesz chciał ładnie oglądać, nie? O, zaczyna się. Pampers ubrany? No to nie wiem, sam siebie pytasz? Czy Xboxa? Okej, co to jest? Co to jest? Co to za gra? Co to za gra? Dobra, ja już szampana otworzyłem, także zdrówko. Xbox. Co to? Co to za szachy? Ale to jest trailer wydarzenia, czy trailer gry nowej szachy? Nowe szachy na PlayStation 5. 4K, Ray Tracing, 60 klatek. Wakanda forever. This is the way. Nie przycina też ci, widzisz, bo mi przycina coś dźwięk, jak mam otwarte na pełny ekran. Od czasu do czasu coś chrupnie, ale nie wiem, czy to jest wina teraz przeglądarki, OBS-a, streama z PlayStation. Też tak ci przycina od czasu do czasu? Dobra, to ja chyba będę musiał jednak oglądać w miniaturce. Nie, ja nie chcę, ja chcę na pełnym ekranie, ale muszę w miniaturce na OBS-ie oglądać, żeby nie przycinało. Chyba że to u nich tak zacina po prostu. Bo widzę, że to cały czas tak zacina. No, ale nie wiem, nie mam jak tego sprawdzić nawet. Nie, filmik przycinek gry na PlayStation 5. No, mamy hejtera. Zaraz dostaniesz muta. I się skończy kozakowanie. Chyba jak na Xboxie. Ale faktycznie, coś tnie. Wcześniej jak streamowałem z tego, z IGN-u, to tego problemu nie było. Teraz to wystąpiło. Myślę, że to nie jest nic z mojej strony. A wejdziesz na PlayStation? Na ich streama? Czy też takie coś się dzieje? Czy to jest tylko u mnie w przeglądarce? Może ja powyłączam te niepotrzebne programy, które mi działają w tle. W tym Xboxa aplikację, która zawsze się otwiera. O, chyba przestało mulić? Nie, nie przestało. Dobra, na razie mieliśmy zajawkę. Teraz tutaj prezentacja gierek, sprzętu. O, Astrobocik, bardzo fajny.
I'm Jim Ryan, President and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Nie zaczynam u nich, czyli to coś u mnie teraz.
At PlayStation, we believe in pushing boundaries and setting the benchmark for creativity and excellence in entertainment. We always love the opportunity to speak directly with our community. The new technology in PS5 enables development teams to build more exciting, immersive and compelling worlds, showcasing their creative vision as storytellers. We've never been more grateful for the PlayStation community. So thank you for allowing us time to share some significant updates and brand new content. So without further ado, let's look at some new and amazing games.
Okej, co będzie pierwsze? Jaka giereczka? Lucasfilm Games? To coś z Star Warsów, tak?
Peace is a lie. That is what the Sith believe. They promised power. Now they wield it. We face the greatest Sith in generations. They must be stopped.
Knights of the Old Republic Remake. Z tego co słyszałem, bardzo fajna gierka. To na pewno Bucyn w to grał. Na 100%. Ja szybko coś jeszcze wyłączę w międzyczasie. Co mamy, bajonetę? Ej, to jest bajoneta, prawda? Albo przynajmniej tak to wygląda, ale to nie jest ta sama postać, która była w poprzednich częściach. Co tu się dzieje? Ale to jest na 100 bajoneta jakaś.
하늘의 계신 어머니시여, 저희는 지구를 지키지 못했습니다. 적들을 물리치고 인류를 구원하려는 신성한 의무를 다하지 못하였습니다. 하지만 이제 저희가 다시 내려와 남은 목숨 끝까지 바쳐 싸울 것을 맹세하오니 부디
Bajoneta w Rosji?
저희를 거두어 주시고 저희를 유혹에 빠지지 않게 하소서. 지하 시설 방공호 같은 건가?
여긴 지하철역이야. 사람들을 태우고 거미줄처럼 도시를 누비던 교통수단이지. 다 지난 얘기지만 말이야.
No wygląda to naprawdę spoko ogólnie. Jak ktoś lubi gierki typu Devil May Cry, stare God of War'y, to gierka dla niego. A zwłaszcza dla fanów bajonety, ale nie wiem, czy to jest na pewno bajoneta. Nie, no raczej tak. Kurde, mam ochotę z powrotem się przełączyć na IGN-a jednak, bo coś muli ten stream z PlayStation. Kurde, bo leciało 2 godziny streama, nic się nie działo, nagle teraz musiało przymulić.
마더스피어의 구원을 아직 기다리고 있는 거야.
이거 조심해. 전방에서 공격. 곧 무너지겠어.
No nie wiem, wygląda jak bajoneta, no ja obstawiam bajonetkę. Ale to wygląda mega! Co on ma na głowie? Widziałeś to? Nie, co to jest? Project Eve? No, to wyglądało jak bajoneta przecież. Ale ma fajne giry. Okej. Zainteresowany. Ja szybko się przełączę na... Albo się nie zdążę przełączyć. Tu leci gra za grą, żadnego gadania widzę.
Darkness washes over the land. Dun, dun, dun. The Dragon Lord has returned!
Fools! Your party of heroes can't stop me.
Borderlands, tak? Ale jakiś taki Borderlands w średniowieczu? Co to jest? Okay.
You know, some of you may be asking, Tina, why are there guns in a fantasy world?
Dobra, to jest chyba dobry moment, żebym spróbował przełączyć się na IGN-a. Nie mam pojęcia, czemu mi to muli. Ale tylko na pełnym ekranie, dziwne. Zaraz włączę tutaj sobie szybko YouTube. Z Energika. Gdzie jest IGN? Na IGN jest 120 000 aktualnie ogląda ludzi. Okej. Jesteśmy z powrotem. Akurat jakaś gierka od... gierka od Square Enix. Nie mam pojęcia, co to jest.
No more fights. Clean air. Bright skies.
Co to jest za gra? Ty, ale to wygląda mega, nie? Ja to chcę wiedzieć, co to jest za gra i ustawić wyższą jakość streama na pewno, bo widzę, że jest ustawione znowu jakoś 480p.
Wait, stop!
Ej, ale to jest naprawdę...
Who's there?
porządny tytuł, ale to wygląda jak coś od Naughty Dog bardziej niż od Square Enix.
Where are you?
Right here, at the end of your arm.
Oh, hello, yes.
Aha, to jakiś
Okay,
głos z tych
so let me get
bransoletek,
this
tak?
straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a pug.
Gierka wygląda. Chcesz tu bliżej uchać?
Wait.
I just moved it with my freaking mind. Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
No, you're just being ridiculous.
Oh, that's too far. Good to know there's a line.
If our land suffers, you are the only hope we have. Special.
You're the one that's planning on facing off with Syla. Tanta Syla is the strongest and most formidable of all the Tantas. You would be doing our land a great service by killing her.
Forspoken, to trzeba zapamiętać. To jest tytuł, który na pewno ogram, nie? To wygląda jak coś, co będzie mi się podobało, nie?
No name for a demon. I am the one you seek. The one and only Tanta Syla.
No, kolejna z fajną czapką. Fantasy of Final? Nie. Fantasy of Final w zupełnie innym settingu jest, ten najnowszy, ta 16. No to no to super, jak na wiosnę już.
Against the worst global threats imaginable. Hostage situations, biological weapons, the threat of nuclear war. But now, we face the greatest terror
Siema gołąb.
our world has ever known.
Rainbow Six? Ale co to, Rainbow Six z potworusami? Ale jednak to faktycznie było coś ze streamowaniem z konta PlayStation oficjalnego, bo teraz już nie ma żadnej przycinki. Fajnie to wygląda.
We will move as one. We will think as one. We will do whatever it takes. As one.
Co to było? Zapiszczał? Okej. Ale Rainbow Six nie wiem, nigdy nie grałem. Z tego co wiem to mega dobra gierka, taka koopowo-rywalizacyjna. Coś jak kurde Counter-Strike, ale z większą ilością mechanik. Ze strzelaniem przez ściany, rozwalaniem też elementów budynków. Wiem, że coś takiego tam jest. Ale nie wiem, nigdy nie grałem, a już tym bardziej nie wiem jak to będzie wyglądało. O, Extraction. Czyli jakieś tutaj z zombiakami coś będzie, potworusami. Epic Games. No zobaczymy co będzie od Epica. Remedy. Remedy to... Oni nie są też od Tomb Raiderów, ale nie chcę, nie wiem, strzelam teraz. Ach, Alan Wake, dobra, remaster pierwszej części, która swoją drogą nigdy nie wyszła na PlayStation. Także to jest pierwsza okazja dla osób, które chciałyby sobie sprawdzić przygodę, o właśnie, pierwszy raz na PlayStation, przygodę Alana Wake'a. To jest coś taki Silent Hill, taki Resident Evil trochę, survival horror. Świecisz latarką po potworach, żeby je osłabić, wtedy można tylko je zabić, z tego co wiem. Trochę grałem w tą gierkę, jeszcze na Xboxie chyba 360? Chyba na pewno na Xboxie 360. No, remake Alana Wake'a, bardzo fajna gierka. No. Całej nie przeszedłem, ale dziś jakoś początek tam grałem na jakiejś posiadówce u znajomego. którego nie było stać na PlayStation, więc miał Xboxa.
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
Ja nie wiem, czy tam nie było w fabule, nie chodziło o to, że on jest właśnie pisarzem i on trafił do koszmaru, który sam opisał, coś w tym stylu? Takie, nie wiem. Ktoś wiem, że porównywał tą grę do miasteczka Twin Peaks? O, no nie, no tego nie mogło zabraknąć, oczywiście. Trzecia generacja z rzędu. 50. DLC, welcome back to... No nie, no pięknie, teraz dowalili. W Control jest dużo nawiązań do Alana Wake'a. A właśnie, Control jest od Remedy, tak? Studia. No i co, czym oni chcą mnie tutaj zachęcić teraz w tym GTA, no? Ty powinno do tej pory nie odgrałaś, nie? A już nie mówię o multi, nie? Ale coś... Okej. Kapcio, pozdrawiam również. Nie wiem, reklamują multi, tak? Ja nie wiem w ogóle o co tutaj chodzi w tym trailerze. Fajnie. No, helikopter może nowy. Nowe latające samochody. Super, naprawdę super. No, na to czekałem. No to poszło pierwsze gówno. O, tu już coś wygląda lepiej. Tak zdecydowanie lepiej. Co to jest? Aha, to jest ten Tokio coś tam, tak? Uej, to może być dobre. Tokio Wired? Jakoś tak ta się gierka nazywała? Wcześniej też tylko widziałem chyba jeden jakiś zwiastun taki. No to może być spoko. Takie trochę Bioshock w Japonii? Nie wiem.
Critical work. People always decry the truth.
Okej. To nie są glitche na streamie, jakby coś. To tak jest w grze.
I will be her salvation.
No okej, no to już druga gra, którą na pewno ogram. Tokio Wired i tamta pierwsza, co mi się tak podobała? Pamiętasz nazwę? To trzeba mieć kartki robić, jeżeli nie pamiętamy. No i ktoś kombinuj, bo ja faktycznie muszę sobie spisać te tytuły, na pewno jeszcze raz będę sobie oglądał te trailery i klatka po klatce będę analizował, co tam się dzieje. Ghostwire, o właśnie, taka persona. Taka persona? To ty chyba w persony nie grałeś. Persona to jest turówka. Okej. Nie pamiętam jak ta gra od Square Softu się nazywała, Square Enix. Dobra, tu mamy coś Marvela. A to Ghostwire. O, Strażnicy Galaktyki. To już trochę też materiałów sobie poglądałem. Są też dostępne nawet na pewno na YouTubie, też nawet w sklepie PlayStation są jakieś materiały przedstawiające różne postaci.
United in the light of belief, all suffering, all grief will end. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Cease this at once.
A Shop już kradnie.
Osmo, how you doing, buddy?
O, Łajka.
During that ritual with the priest, they kept talking about a
Siema,
promise.
co się dzieje? Oglądamy streama.
Funky juice or something. Or joined a cult. So let us investigate for you.
Always catch Peter Quill, and not fun kind with Paul.
Hey, World Mind, long time no see.
Graficznie tak przeciętnie chyba. Ale to też bym sobie zagrał. To już też sobie sprawdzałem te materiały. To na pewno będzie gierka, którą ogram. Na pewno nie na premierę.
I hope you've got one hell of a speech plan, Peter.
That makes two of us. Follow me!
O, proszę. Kolejny z fajną czapką. Nie, no wygląda spoko.
By rejecting the promise, you have proven yourselves unworthy, and you must be destroyed.
Ta Gamora mało nyga? No bo Gamora nyga była tylko w filmach, nie? Chyba. Nie w komiksach. O, Ratchet popsuł.
That was completely intentional. The Milano's on her way.
To celowo. Celowo. To było wszystko zaplanowanko. No, strażnicy będą kozak, też mi się tak wydaje. Co my tu mamy kolejne? Co to jest? To jest nowa gra od From Software. Co to jest? A to ten multi o wampirach? Co to jest? No na pewno coś o wampirach, ale nie wiem, czy to jest to multi? Forspoken, właśnie, gra wcześniejsza, która mi się tak podobała, Forspoken. Ja jestem napalony na ten remake tej starej gry Star Wars, ten Knights of the Old Republic, tak? Nie wiem, ja do tej pory Fallen Order nie ukończyłem. Bloodhound. No, ale to jest chyba jakiś multiplayer, z tego co wiem. Tak mi się wydaje, że to jest to. Chyba, że to jest jeszcze jakaś inna gra z wampirami, która wychodzi w najbliższym czasie. A jeszcze w tym roku. Okej. Ale to dla mnie mech. Nie wiem. Nie wiem jak dla ciebie. Wampiry.
Welcome to the Eon program.
Eon?
Picture your perfect you. Your health.
With Happy Few? Coś w tym stylu? Czy to jest ten Deathloop? Nie mam pojęcia co to jest. Fallen Order też koks gra? Nie wiem. Ja doszedłem do pierwszej planety i jakoś odpadłem, ale dokończę na pewno.
8 geniuses who painted up a prison and named it freedom. Locked us all in one repeating day.
Aha, Deathloop.
Eternity. An endless party that you can never leave.
Nie wiem, ja do tej pory nie rozumiem na czym ma polegać tutaj ta rozgrywka. Oglądałem już, kurde, nie wiem, 10 różnych trailerów, ale nadal nie wiem jak to będzie wyglądało w praniu. Chyba muszę zagrać, bo inaczej sobie tego nie wyobrażę, nie?
Brainwashed cultists flinging bombs, whatever these guys are doing, all spewing Eon's bullshit. So how come I don't remember shit? This Party Island hangover is not my thing. My thing is answers. Who are these people? What do they want with me? And why is she always one step ahead? Come on, Colt. You gotta put this together.
Fajnie jakby pokazali Final Fantasy VII Remake część druga. Niech pokażą, że będzie za 5 lat. Ja już chcę coś zobaczyć, nie?
Somebody's sending me these messages from the future, the past, whenever.
Ten Deathloop. Widać, że to gra od Xboxa, nie?
Is this a contest for them? Some type of experiment? How does this time loop work? Does anybody remember? Why is everyone wearing a mask? What the other notes anymore? Who am I?
Colt, I want you to remember. I want you to remember why you came here.
Huh. Is that? Damn, I look good.
Final Fantasy VII Remake super? I ty to piszesz? Przecież ciebie ta gra odrzuciła. Okej. To z automatem mi się podobało.
Gonna break this time loop?
Jeżeli to będzie jakaś kampania fabularna dla jednego gracza, to spróbuję, ale jeżeli to będzie tylko multi, to nie wiem. Aha. Okej, jakiś horror mamy. Outlast 3 mówisz? Tak strzelasz? Ja nie wiem jeszcze. Nie wiem. Ale jest coś nagrywane jakby kamerą, tak jak w Outlaście było. I w czym jeszcze tak było? W Rezydencie też tak było w 7. Nie wiem. Nie mam pojęcia, co to było. Jakiś teaser jakiegoś horroru, ale ten Amnesia to tak też jest taka seria horrorów. Także może to coś z tego, ale nie wiem, znaczy graliśmy chyba w Amnezję, ale część i nas strasznie znudziła. Okej, ej! Coś z grą na gitarze. Ej, tak się grało w The Last of Us, nie? Na gitarze w ten sposób. Okej. Wygląda średnio. No w sumie nie, no nie wygląda najgorzej. Wygląda coś jak ten Abzu, jak Subnautica, coś tego stylu. Trochę jak właśnie ten nowy Psychonauts. O, do Psychonauts bym to porównał najbardziej w sumie. O, można wchodzić w ciała zwierząt i rozwiązywać jakieś zagadki? Ej, no okej. Nie jest źle. Outlast 3 jak chuj. Okej. Meahu?
Tu es Oleti.
Chia. Okej. Tytuł może być ciekawy. Okej. Coś dla miłośników krabów było. Bardzo fajny styl. No taki... Mi się wydaje, że to będzie kolejna gra, tak jak miałem z Psychonauts, że na początku nie mogłem się przekonać do tego stylu graficznego. A dzisiaj w ogóle grałem w Psychonautsy trochę. I się w końcu przekonałem. Dobra. Uncharted, czyli coś będzie od Naughty Dog, tak? Czy będzie jakiś update pewnie? Update do PlayStation 5. Chociaż już był, nie? Ta łatka z 60 klatek. To Marcin, ty na pewno będziesz wiedział. Remastered. I na PC? O proszę. Zasłużyli w końcu. Może będzie w Game Passie. Fajnie, fajnie. Ale rozumiem, że trzeba zapłacić za remaster, nie że za darmo, nie? Jak dla tych. To musi być płatne, to musi kosztować co najmniej $60. Jak będzie remaster. Nie może być tak, że będzie za darmo dla tych, co już kupili na PlayStation 4. No to dużo nie pokazali. No dobra, będzie remaster na PC-ta i na PlayStation 5.
I'm Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios. PlayStation Studios, at its heart, is a diverse and passionate group of storytellers at our collective of AAA studios.
Ale dla Uncharted chyba była taka łatka po prostu, że ma więcej klatek, ale to Marcin by musiał napisać, a nie było. Wydawało mi się, że było właśnie.
Our world-class development teams at PlayStation Studios have already delivered such incredible gaming experiences for PS5, and we're only just getting started. As you'll see today with the lineup of exclusive games coming for PlayStation Studios, we're going to continue to drive innovation,
ale to już zaraz koniec, nie?
always embracing the legacy
To już
of PlayStation.
35 minut minęło. W sumie nie pokazali God of War'a, nie pokazali Horizona. Ej, no dziwne, nie pokazali tego. Gran Turismo? Insomniac Games. Marvel. Okej. Czyli co, nowego Spidermana robią, czy co? Not actual gameplay. Dobra, gierka już wiemy, że tak nie wygląda. Ale CGI niezły. I co obstawiacie? To jest nowy Spider-Man? GTA 5 było nie pierdolej zajebiście. Wolverine? No to pięknie! No to mamy coś fajnego. No to będzie zajebiste. No Spidermana zrobili naprawdę dobrego, także jak zrobią tak samo dobrą grę z Wolverinem, to ja już jestem kupiony. Brawo. O, czyli jest Gran Turismo, czyli jednak pokażą. No to jest, bomba pierwsza trafiona. Także jestem, znaczy w sumie 3 gry są takie, które czekam, nie? Ten Ghostwire, ta pierwsza gierka, jak ona się nazywała? Forspoken, no i teraz Wolverine od Marvela. To są 3 gierki, które na pewno muszę ograć. Gran Turismo, może w końcu wrócę. Ostatnio w Gran Turismo, jakie grałem, to na PSP. Wannabe Forza? Cóż, to zupełnie inne gry. Forza to jest arcade'ówka, tu masz symulator. Zakochałem się. Będę grał. Pięknie to wygląda. Nie, jakoś samochodówki ogólnie mnie nie jarają, chociaż lubię. Ale nigdy nie będę miał takich emocji jak na przykład do takiej gierki jak Wolverine albo Forspoken. Ale Gran Turismo chyba sobie kupię. Chyba popykam sobie. Na pewno do czasu jak wyjdzie Gran Turismo, to już przyjdzie mi znowu ochota na... O, okej, można wlepki robić. No, tryb fotograficzny to już nawet w poprzedniej części był mega rozbudowany, ale tutaj to widzę, że można będzie tak fotorealistyczne zdjęcia cykać. Jak ktoś lubi takie rzeczy, to tu spędzi drugie tyle, co jeżdżąc autem, nie? No ciekawe, kiedy ta gierka wyląduje. Kiedy będzie można... I jak nie będzie Toyoty Yaris, to nie kupuję, nie? Nie, ale jestem przekonany, że będzie, nie? Tam takie stare fury nawet potrafią być w tej grze. O. Kiedy będzie ten Ghostwire? Już był. Okej. A kiedy w sensie premiera? Nie mam pojęcia. Nie wiem, nie przyjrzałem się. Nie wiem, czy w ogóle było napisane. Co to? O, Spider-Man nowy znowu? Ale nowy? Czy znowu jakiś remaster? Nie, no nowy Spider-Man. No to kurde, no to brawo. No to już kolejna gierka, to już 4. Czyli od Marvela będą 2 fajne gry. W sumie 3, no bo jeszcze będzie ten Strażnicy Galaktyki. No to dla fanów Marvela naprawdę szykuje się ciekawy okres. No to piknie. A jakie to studio będzie robiło tego Spidermana? Też Insomniac? To ja nie wiem, skąd oni biorą czas na tworzenie tych gier i to jeszcze w tak krótkim czasie. Z Venomem będzie, okej. Zajebiście. Zajebiście! Oho, to sobie poczekamy! No, bo już się dziwiłem, no jak oni chcą zrobić Wolverina i jeszcze Spidermana. No, zajebiście. No, trochę poczekamy. Jeżeli w ogóle wyjdzie w tym 2023. Dobra, koniec? Chyba koniec, co? Nie pokazali God of War'a, nie pokazali... O, jeszcze coś będzie. Jeszcze jest szansa. Jest! Jest i on! No dobra. Chłopcze.
Time is running out.
A już taki starszy głos ma ten.
Say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow
Zdróweczko.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with
A to jest ta Freya?
Maybe
Czeka na
that's
mnie?
Mother one.
We do not know what Mother wanted.
Well, I recognize that.
Ten jak się nazywał?
expression
Na
anywhere.
my jakoś chyba.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands, who is dead.
No.
For a dead man, Odin seemed pretty
Dobra
keen on
gierka
seeing
będzie,
what wasn't
nie?
found.
If he's out there,
Jeszcze ten restream też tutaj trochę przycina, ale... Ja na pewno to sobie jeszcze raz obejrzę w 4K, jakieś filmiki będę szukał, bo zaraz chwilę po prezentacji powinny się pojawić materiały. Także albo wrzucę na Discorda, albo wy jak będziecie chcieli to wrzucicie. Na pewno będę jeszcze szukał sobie materiału.
stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
You seem like a calm and reasonable person.
Ale widzę, przynajmniej z tych materiałów tutaj, że nie zrezygnowali z tego wsparcia Lokiego w czasie rozgrywki. Ja nie wiem, czy to jest dobre rozwiązanie. Ja chyba bym wolał, jakby tego małego nie było. Najlepiej jakby na początku gry gdzieś się zgubił i dopiero byśmy go odnaleźli pod koniec. Chociaż on ogólnie był dobrze zrobiony, on nie przeszkadzał w rozgrywce, ale jakby go nie było, też było fajnie. O kurde. Aha, Loki ma nowe jakieś zdolności tam, nowe zwierzaki.
Here.
Are you coming with us?
Malutki.
You'll get your answers soon enough.
Pokażcie datę.
Well, some of them.
Czemu ten Atreus taki malutki? Bo akcja się dzieje zaraz po zakończeniu pierwszej części, także no, w tym samym momencie się kończy pierwsza część i zaczyna druga. More updates in 7, 6, 5, no zaraz zobaczymy. Ale na coś, czegoś nie było, na co jeszcze czekałem? Aha, coś od tego, nie? Od Naughty Dog niczego nie było tak naprawdę, poza remasterem. O, to chyba będzie jednak Naughty Dog teraz, bo jest ostrzeżenie przed brutalnymi scenami, które mogą się pojawić za chwilę. Aha, brutalne sceny, pokazali konsolę, no pięknie. O The Last of Us mogliby chociaż pokazać tryb multi, żeby dodali. Ja tak naprawdę czekam na ten tryb. Jak tylko się pojawi tryb multi, ja sobie jeszcze raz przysiądę do The Last of Us 2. W końcu ją ukończę, bo doszedłem do połowy gry i tam skończyłem. Ale jak pojawi się tryb multi z jedynki bardzo było fajne, bardzo mi się podobały frakcje. Ale to chyba wszystko. Ale był God of War, ale była data premiery God of War'a? No nic nie pokazali?
I recognize that dour expression anywhere.
And that was the PlayStation Showcase. We've got more info and updates coming right now. And I'm in fact joined by no less than PlayStation.
Aha, czyli zaraz jeszcze wyjaśnią kilka spraw na pewno.
Really strong showing here from PlayStation Studios tonight, including an awesome new look at GT7 and finally a release date.
GT7 is coming in March, and I don't think
w marcu Gran Turismo będzie.
Yamauchi-san and Polyphony have been working on. And what we're doing with GT7 is we're pulling from the entire history of the franchise, taking some of the best features.
Dzięki Sony, że nie zagrasz fajne gierki. Za 4 lata zagrasz.
And you know, I got a chance to play, and it just looks and plays sensationally. The haptics, the vibrations, you feel the rolls, the pull and the weight of the different cars. I'll tell you, the one thing that I personally really liked is the braking variations through the adaptive triggers. That really kind of makes you feel like you're an incredible racer, and for me, that's great.
Great to hear that about GT7. I can't wait to play that, but I also really wanted to talk about Insomniac. I mean, this is a studio that is absolutely
co z tym Wolverinem, co z tym Spider-Manem?
Maybe 18 months with Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank, A Rift Apart, and now 2 big reveals tonight in the form of Marvel Spider-Man 2
Ja nie wiem, to studio to tam same chyba mróweczki pracują i oni nie śpią, nie jedzą, nie piją i oni trzepią te gierki.
So what can you tell us about just why Insom gets so fired up about the Marvel universe?
I mean, Sid, you said it. Insomniac are on fire. They've been just so productive. And I think the team in Insomniac, they're really always challenging themselves to raise the bar with their approach to storytelling and craftsmanship. And it's really evident in the consistently high quality of games that they've been
teraz będą się zachwalać, klepać po pleckach, jacy to nie są zajebiści. Takie gadanie to mogą sobie wsadzić. To mnie nie interesuje akurat. Powiedzcie, kiedy będą te premiery w końcu, kiedy z ten God of War będzie.
And that collaboration resulted in the amazing first 2 Marvel Spider-Man games. And I know that Insomniac are extremely excited to be further expanding the universe into Marvel Spider-Man 2 now. And they're also raising the bar in terms of immersion, action, visual fidelity. I think Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be a spectacular showpiece for gaming. And they're also so thrilled to then bring gamers an emotional and a suspenseful journey into Marvel's Wolverine. I think that PlayStation fans are really going to be in for a treat over the next few years.
Very cool, very exciting.
Z tym Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga zastanawiałem się faktycznie. W momencie, gdy ukończyłem wszystkie trylogie.
Ragnarok. Herman, what can you tell us about where Santa Monica Studio is going with this one?
You know, like many of the fans, I'm personally really invested in the relationship between Kratos and Atreus. We got to see in the trailer that there's some real tension brewing between them as Ragnarok approaches, so, you know, I can't wait for players to see how that relationship between them evolves. And you gotta trust me when I say that Santa Monica Studio have prepared quite a few twists and turns for players as they set up the finale of the Norse saga in God of War Ragnarok.
We're gonna get an update on God of War Ragnarok from Santa Monica Studio here in just a moment. But before you go, Herman, want to get your take on
Czyli za chwilę jeszcze będą mówili o Ragnaroku,
o God of Warze. I am sure that by this point you have played it. So, what has jumped out to you? What can you tell us about the game?
I've had a chance to play the game on PS4 and PS5, and it looks great on both. For PS5, the level of detail on Aloy, her kit, her lighting, it's just exceptional. Even more amazing because the environments have so much going on too. From the ruins of San Francisco to those new underwater areas, everything just looks breathtaking, and it loads really fast because of the SSD. Plus, the combat in the game offers so much variety. It's all based on player choice. There's so many cool weapons and tools, and when you combine these together, that comes in really handy when you're dealing with the new machines. On PS5, the haptic feedback on the controller, I think in my mind really
Spider-Man Miles vs. Venom. No, to może być naprawdę spoko gierka.
And the other ammo.
Ale chyba bardziej czekam nawet na tego Wolverina. Ale o Wolverinie też za dużo nie wiadomo, kiedy będzie. A już najbardziej czekam na Forspoken. Ale że niczego od Naughty Dog nie pokazali? O, jest ten, Barlock? Tak się nazywa? Ten pan po prawej.
And actually, Eric, I wanted to start with you. You've been involved with every single God of War, including 2018's God of War. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Sid. I've been with the studio since 2004 in many different capacities, working with both Santa Monica and Ready at Dawn on the God of War franchise. And,
czy God of War będzie na PlayStation 4? Myślę, że tak, będzie. Nie, że tak.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm directing God of War Ragnarok, or as Corey likes to call it, never heard of it. So that's the update on that.
So Eric, why the shift in leadership on God of War Ragnarok?
It's always been a tradition here at Santa Monica to change the directors across the games. You know, we've had really good success with that. Corey's been the only repeat director, and you know, rightfully so. He's pretty damn good at what he does. So that's kind of what it is.
The important thing for us is
no właśnie nie wiem, co będzie pierwsze. Czy będzie Spider-Man, czy ten Wolverine?
But also, you know, a fresh pair of legs in the sense that you're really exhausted at the end of finishing one of these things. So you got to con somebody else into doing it, like him.
So Eric, what aesthetics or themes sort of resonate with you as a creative? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is like, how do you see yourself leaving your fingerprints on God of War Ragnarok?
It's kind of the designer in me wants to answer one way, but as a director, you have to answer a different way. I think you have to learn how to jettison your own profession when you switch over to the director's role, which I'm sure Corey can understand. I mean, he kind of animated a little bit.
No wiesz, tam w pierwszej części bardzo fajny jest gameplay, nie? Sama gra jest sama w sobie fajna, nie tylko fabuła.
That's the perk of being the director, I guess. But
myślę, że warto zagrać.
My point of view, like we want to tell a very heartfelt and epic story as, you know, father and son go on a journey, and they kind of struggle with holding on to stuff and letting go of things. You know, it's a very difficult kind of human condition that we all deal with, and we kind of want to arrive at that by taking like slices of life or family, you know, drama, if you will, and kind of juxtapose that against big Norse backdrop. And,
na PlayStation 4 Ragnarok będzie wyglądał lepiej niż Minecraft 4K, to na pewno.
Inevitable based on all those things, but it's kind of, you know, I'm from the Midwest, so like slice of life, very common, mundane things are just as interesting as big world events, and so we try to collide those things together. It's, you know, make an experience that's very worthy of the God of War name.
So with the game officially being called God of War Ragnarok, I guess it doesn't take a genius to think that perhaps Ragnarok factors into this game in some manner. Can you confirm that, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, you can't call the game God of War Ragnarok and not have Ragnarok happen in the game. So, you know, it's going to happen. We're going to cap off the Norse series with it.
Okay.
And I think Chris Judge said it best in the announced trailer last year. Prepare yourselves.
The last game ended
Jak
with
to jest ten wysoki na końcu zwiastuna? Nie wiem, pewnie jakiś olbrzym.
Was that
nie mam pojęcia, kto to jest. No, ja tam w mitologii nordyckiej nie siedzę.
Thor's voice we heard in the trailer. Thor is being played by Ryan Hurst, which you might know him from Sons of Anarchy. He played Opie, one of my favorite characters ever. And we're just delighted to have him come play in the God of War sandbox. And his take on Thor and our take visually on Thor are very different than the hunky Australian you might know.
Wygląda?
You know, he's much closer
ten
to
wysoki?
The Norse mythology version.
To nie ta mitologia.
Hedonistic man-child,
nie ta religia.
You know, left-handed, just a little off kilter than the Thor that a lot of people know right now. So I can't wait for people to experience more of that when the game's done.
We also heard the name Odin in tonight's trailer. So I imagine if we're going to experience Ragnarok, Odin's going to have to play a pretty big role here, right?
Definitely. I mean, Odin is the All-Father of all the realms, so he's going to show up when Ragnarok
potwierdzone, że pojawi się Odyn.
Very, very happy to have
pewnie będzie wkurzony za to, że w pierwszej części wszystkie kruki mu wybiliśmy.
You may know him as Toby from the West Wing. This was one that we never thought was going to happen. It was like kind of a shot in the dark, and he got back to us, and we walked him around the mocap volume, and he was just like, I've never done anything like this before. Let's do it. And so the kind of rest is history. So I can't wait for people to experience that and see how he factors in. And it's a very different take, again, much like Thor. You know, he's like a old man who's just kind of busy with his own things and doing whatever he wants. And he doesn't live in a castle or anything like that. So it's again a different take, kind of what we do. We just take what's known and curveball it a little bit and, you know, make it special.
Mam nadzieję, że Thor nie będzie wyglądał jak ten z Marvela.
So what can you tell us about them?
Are you talking about the little squid? Oh no, you're talking about Tyr. Tyr, the big guy. Yeah. He's the Norse god of war.
To jest Tyr.
And Curtis and Trace have finally found him. We talked a lot about him in 2018, so we were like, well, might as well show him to the people. And then the last character we saw at the trailer, you know, like
Podobno w pierwszej części God of War'a dużo wzmianek było o tej postaci, o tym, co ty mówisz, że on wygląda jak Jezus. To jest jakiś Tyr.
The world of God of War. Tyr is being played by Ben Prendergast, who's been completely absorbed in the role, even though he is not a giant as Tyr is. And then Angerboda is being played by Leia De Leon Hayes, who's a complete treasure on set. She's been amazing. Watching her chemistry with the other characters has been amazing, and she's one of the last giants that's living. So we have those characters and a few more. You know, there's a lot of different monsters.
Strażnicy Galaktyki, ja nie wiem, czy nawet jeszcze w tym roku nie będą.
Building this trailer and putting it together. I just want to give a shout out to the team. I love you guys. You know, I wish you could be here doing this interview with me. I wish you were all behind me right now at the studio. That would have been completely amazing. And, you know, lastly, to our fans, we have a saying at the studio that we are fans of our fans, and I cannot wait to watch all the tweets, the messages, the reaction videos that you guys put out, and our team to be able to take that into heart and just get excited and hyped, and then use that to push us through to finish the game for you guys. So thank you very much.
Now, Corey, we haven't heard a whole lot out of you here tonight. So now that we know you're not directing God of War Ragnarok, I was hoping maybe you could give us a little clue about what you may or may not be working on next.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd like me to just spill the beans and tell you everything that's going on right now. We're actually doing a bunch of stuff. It's really exciting, all the things that we're doing, and you're tempted to know what is this, but I don't really have anything I can talk about right now specifically, mostly because we're really focused on God of War Ragnarok, that I am incredibly excited that I finally understand that that's what everyone was saying, God of War Ragnarok. I was way off. I was thinking it was something else that they were talking about. I think we'll wait to get any deeper into anything else until later. We'll talk again, Sid.
All right. Well, thank you, Corey, and thank you, Eric. And next up we have Ryan Treadwell. He's the lead producer at Aspyr.
Ale datę podajcie, ludzie, datę. No chyba, że już gdzieś podali wcześniej, ja przegapiłem. Już gadają teraz o tym.
So Ryan, I guess my question is,
Kotorze, tak?
Is this like a remaster of the original game, or what's going on here?
It's so much more, Sid. This is a complete remake of this beloved Star Wars story.
Nie remaster, tylko remake,
Knights of the
tak?
Republic remake. We are rebuilding from the ground up while maintaining that integrity of story and character from the original.
Nie wiem, czy była podana data.
Ryan, how much of a remake are we talking about here? I mean, is this updating some graphics, adding some higher resolution modes?
You know, the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a true classic and one of our favorite Star Wars stories ever. We want to honor that original story and make it as impactful for players today. In terms of the visuals, we have an opportunity to present this story with a much higher level of fidelity than was possible in the past, while making sure that we're being authentic to what players loved about that original game.
So we know Aspyr from bringing classic Star Wars games to modern consoles, but this is a much bigger project than anything the studio's tackled before. So what can you tell me about the team behind the game?
You're absolutely right. While Aspyr has enjoyed a great relationship with Lucasfilm Games through our work bringing classic Star Wars games to new audiences on modern platforms, this project is on a completely different level to anything we have done before. That's why we knew we had to assemble the right team to do this project justice. We put together a team full of industry veterans from fan-favorite RPGs, even including the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. It has been a really rewarding experience to assemble such a talented team to bring back an epic game. Of course, we're also working closely with the amazing teams at PlayStation and Lucasfilm Games. Together, we couldn't be more excited about what we'll be able to show you in the future. All of us are, of course, huge Star Wars fans too. One of the nice parts about building a team to make a big Star Wars game is the ability to instantly bond with all the new people over your favorite aspects of Star Wars. We all have different Star Wars memorabilia behind us in every call, and it always sparks up a good conversation.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Very exciting stuff, and I'm definitely dying to see more of that one.
Thank you, Sid. It will be some time before we're ready to show more, but we're very excited about being able to reveal more in the future.
All right, and that's it for our show. You can catch up on all the big news on PlayStation.blog and check out all the trailers from tonight's PlayStation Showcase on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Nie mam pojęcia, kiedy będzie God of War. Nie mam pojęcia, kiedy będzie Wolverine, Forspoken, Ghostwire, nie znam dat. Nie wiem, czy nie przyuważyłem, czy po prostu ich nie podali, także będę szukał informacji jeszcze sobie później. Najbardziej z tego całego pokazu czekam na Forspoken, Ghostwire, Wolverina, Spidermana i oczywiście God of War'a. No szkoda, że nie pokazali nic od Uncharted tego, Naughty Dog, także tutaj jestem naprawdę zaskoczony. Myślałem, że coś pokażą. O, ale przycięło teraz coś. No dobra, no nic, to dzięki za dzisiaj, dzięki za wspólne oglądanie. Pojawiło się kilka fajnych bomb, także niech ten już czas leci, niech już te gry mi dadzą, ja już chcę zagrać. Także dzięki bardzo i do zobaczenia, może jutro sobie zagramy w coś. Zobaczymy, to jeszcze do usłyszenia na Discordzie, także trzymajcie się, dzięki bardzo. Pa, pa.